Okay, a new topic just came up, and it's about guns. Okay, now see, the problem with that is I'm looking on like MSNBC, CNN, all the major news networks, and I get this. Okay, they always report about an accidental shootings that go on. Okay, the purpose isn't to publish that, because if they were really gonna talk about guns and not just accidental shootings, they would talk about all the times that people have used the guns in self-defense, or talk about when someone has helped another person in defense of others. Okay, all right is that we can use guns to protect ourselves or protect someone else. Okay, now I get it. Now, okay, now if we look at police officers, okay, police officers have used their guns, and it's basically, ultimately, they used it, it's always justified. There's no real examination or investigation. They supposedly do an investigation, but they don't. But every time we use our guns, we are investigated. Okay, we all investigate it to see if it's self-defense, and there's a real investigation, because we're not officers, so we're not going to have protection from our code blue or something like that. So, it's really and if you look at the times we use it, we rarely use our guns. Even if the fact that it's there for self-defense, defense of others, it's there for protection just in case. Okay, we rarely use it. The only time we have someone has used it is because when there was actually a threat. Okay, a threat to a person's life or a threat to someone else. Okay, so and the fact that you want to bring up, the mainstream media wants to bring up all about this gun accidental shootings and make it too well. They brainwash people to try to restrict law-abiding citizens from carrying guns, and they try to put gun bans. Is the reason why our society is messed up, because all criminals do not obey by the laws. We got felons carrying guns. You know why? Because they say, oh, I don't care about that law that says felons shouldn't or not allowed to carry guns. Go on, I've been in prison before. That's what they say. It don't matter. But you know what? See, that's the problem. Now, I do advocate, and I'm going to say this, I advocate that if a police officer is going for an arrest, they should stick to the training, and that's a different subject, but I just want to point that out. They should stick to the training, because they got more gun training than the average citizen, and they got more training, just training itself more than the average citizen. So they got procedures, protocols, and stuff, and they need to follow by that. And that's the reason why they are a little bit should be treated different than the average citizen, because they're more highly trained and using different kinds of weapons, not just the gun, but the non-lethal things as tasers and batons and stuff like that. They're more trained, and there are all sorts of other stuff that the average citizen is not. And their goal is to arrest and overall go, if it's possible. Now, I understand that they might have the life threatened if somebody had a gun and they pointed it and it was loaded. I understand that. But sometimes they shoot unarmed people, and they, like I said, they got the little taser thing. But that's about police officers. That's a different topic. Let's get back to gun rights for citizens, okay? Now, the thing is, like I said, we can do a threat or threat someone else, see if something happen, like that. And most people with guns, if they have somebody that's trying to fight them, they're not going to put out the gun real fast, because that is they know they can get by because they know they can't get by with that, because the reason why is because then you look like you're the threat if you're the first one that initiates something. So most guys, when they fight with the fist. The only time they use a gun is when the life is threatened or someone else's life is threatened. So, people got to look at it that way. So don't go around try to take all Second Amendment rights and try to ban guns, or don't go try to restrict it to, only criminals can carry, because that's what you're doing when you try to put all those restrictions on conceal and open carry. That is what you're trying to do, is trying to make sure people who don't follow the law, the felons, are the only ones who carry, and put victims. Oh, you say Chicago. Okay, Chicago is bad. It's terrible, corrupted. I know. So I have someone. I have a co-worker from Chicago. The police don't even pay in the pockets of criminals. So you're saying that you want to take away that right? Because here's what the police chief said in Chicago. He said, "Go ahead. If the officers did what I trained them to do, they would even shoot legal gun owners." Look at that. That's corrupt right there. Because Illinois has concealed carry legal. But Chicago police and the Chicago mayor don't want that to happen. So they're training no officers to shoot legal gun owners. Okay? So they're going to let the felons get by when there's 50 mortals, in 3 days. 50 shootings. 50 people shot in 3 days. In Chicago. And you're saying that, okay, that's okay. So that's why a lot of people get shot up, is because they don't carry in Chicago. They don't. It's not because of state law, it's because of what the Chicago local government and the Chicago police have done to threaten people, legal gun owners, from carrying. So they don't carry it because they don't want to get shot by police. So it's not like a real restriction that they have in the ordinance or something. It's just something they told people. This is going to happen if you carry. And that's the wrong thing to do. So, I am pro Second Amendment. But if we want to talk about accidental shootings, especially involving children, number one thing is if you put the gun near the child's going to grab it. Especially a toddler. Same thing's going to happen if you put knife. Put a knife close to the child, the child is going to grab it. Keep your guns, your knives, anything that is dangerous, chemicals, whatever it is, away from children. Okay? And I do believe there is negligence charges that they can charge you with. Yes, you can be charged with negligence. And yes, that should happen if you you did not be careful with your child. That's your child, your responsibility. That I agree with. Negligence charge, I agree with. But I do not agree with restrictions or bans on guns. Because you're focusing on the legal gun owners. You're not focusing on the people the criminals. And you're never going to do anything for the criminals. They're always going to do. So this is just my video, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Alright, bye.